You found out recently that your wife, a year before you all got married, has a sex tape out. It's a gangbang sex tape. A year before you guys got married. And you ask her, well, what's going on? Why'd you do that? She said, I needed money to buy your wedding ring.
Welcome back, you no good bastards, to the Pod Deep Podcast. Be very quiet. Kick back. Listen up. Subscribe, comment, and like. Pod Deep Podcast.
Welcome back to the Pod Deep Podcast. You got the Four Horsemen. We back at you. Please like, follow, subscribe to the podcast. Anywhere that you can get your podcast, please like, follow us. You Google. But we're back. So you got me, you got Sid, you got Hot Rod, you got Hughes, you got Jay. We all in the building. All right, we're going to get this started off real quick. I'm going to start off with the question of the week. Episode 22, question of the week. You're happily married for 5 years. You found your person. This is the person God wanted you to be with. Happily married for 5 years. You found out recently that your wife, a year before you all got married, has a sex tape out. It's a gangbang sex tape. A year before you guys got married. You find out and you ask her, well, what's going on? Why'd you do that? She said, I needed money to buy your wedding ring. So that's what I did. It's on y'all. What y'all doing?
Choke that off.
Hey, when you say it's a gangbang, you mean it's from a professional studio, right? Or is it just an amateur style shit?
Professional studio. We'll call it professional studio.
And she got paid to do this.
Got paid to do it. She used the money to buy your wedding ring. We'll start with Jared. What you doing? What you doing, Jay?
Realistically, I couldn't go through with it. I would probably. I don't know if I would get rid of her. I wouldn't. You already married?
You married. You've been married happily for 5 years. Your person.
You gotta eat it. 5 years happy. You gotta just suck it up and eat it. What can you do? You gotta suck it up.
You staying with it, huh?
I think you stay with it.
All right. Hi, Rod. What you think?
We got problems. Yeah, we got big problems. I don't give a fuck that you did it to get my ring. And I know it's a year before. Well, year before we got married, we've been happily married for 5 years, but that tape is just gonna be always there. You know, it's always there. You know, so it's always gonna be in my mind, and we gonna have it. I don't know if I'm gonna drop her on the spot, but we gonna. Whew, I don't know. I can't say I'm gonna drop her on the spot. I say that, but we gonna have some problems. That's the most I can say right now. We gonna have some definite problems.
So you don't. So you're not saying you're done with it.
But I ain't saying I'm done with it because we got 5 years. You know, we got 5 years happily married. But that, for me personally, like that vision is gonna always be in my head. And on top of the fact, it's a tape, so that motherfucker is always out there. It's always accessible to anyone. So it'd be tough. It'd be tough for me moving forward.
What you think?
What used to be happiness is not happy anymore. I would be devastated. I would be livid. I'm the type of person, we get married, I'll pay for my own damn ring if you ain't got it. I don't need no ring from you if you don't have it. But to do something like that, it's a backstab move to me. You know what I'm saying? And I know you said we 5 years in, we happy and all this. I don't think I would be the same. It's different. It's different if this was a scenario of this is what you did prior to us forming a relationship and getting married. But we were engaged when you did some shit like this. So it would really alter my view, my feelings, and all that towards my wife to be. And I don't think I can go back to no happy state of, like, let's move forward. I forgive you and, kumbaya. It might be a wrap for me. Even though it's something of the past, it just might be a wrap for me.
Wow. So 5 years, that one, I know that's a biggie, but that one is going to destroy 5 years of building this happiness.
Yeah, that's a step out move. That would make my mind go to thinking, how many times have you did it?
Yeah,
you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's more so like also it's what you chose to do to get the money. Like, okay, you didn't have the money, you could have done some other shit, but you did that because you wanted it. In your mind, that's something you wanted to do,
right?
Or some kind of fantasy or something. So
yeah.
For me, I just think, man, I thought about this one. I might just have to chalk it up. I might just have to chalk. I might have to take the L. I'm 5 years in. We super happy. It was a year before. I mean, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You found
So what happened when she fall on hard times when y'all married?
Exactly.
That's
what you gonna do?
Married. You know what I'm saying? We lean on each other when we married, but I get it. But I'm gonna chalk it up. I'm gonna take the L. 5 years in, that's my person. You say everybody make mistakes. It's a big one. Everybody make mistakes, but I'm staying. I'm staying.
I would just have a ton of questions that I could never stop. Like, how you go through some stuff, like, if we're gonna move forward, ain't no point of going in the past. I don't think I could just keep on moving forward without asking, how did you get this offer? You know what I'm saying? They reached out to you, you reached out to them. I don't think I would ever stop that.
You got hella questions, huh?
Yeah, I got hella questions.
Or she come in with some new shit, be like, I thought you didn't have no money. I thought you said you had no money. Like, how you get this bag?
I'm just tugging, jugging now.
Hey, let me piggyback off that, if you don't mind, Sid.
Yep.
Something came up a few episodes ago. We didn't get to it. Do you guys ever think about your current woman's ex? Do you ever think about your current woman's ex?
No.
I thought we broke. No. I thought we did talk about this one.
No, we never recorded it.
Oh, okay.
It was offline.
Current woman. Ex.
Your wife or girlfriend's ex. Do you ever think about that person?
No, I don't.
No,
I don't.
Don't bother me at all.
Okay.
What about you, Jared?
Every once in a while it comes up. You're dealing with family issues. Put it that way. It comes up that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, we never. All right, good. So we got Hughes gone. We got Jared staying. I'm staying. Rodney got a lot of questions he got to ask, but
no. Rodney ain't got no questions. I'm pretty much out, but I'm on. Nah, I'm gonna change. I'm out. It's a wrap.
All right, so that's 2 staying, 2 out.
Yeah.
Question of the week. All right, boys. All right, so we had some election news this week. The last month we've had some election news. couple of people declared they're running for president. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about Donald Trump. Donald Trump announced that he's running again in 2024. Can he win? Anybody got thoughts on, can he actually win this thing, you think? Rod, I'll start with you. You think he got a chance to win it?
No. I mean, well, I guess it all depends on who he's running against. I think as long as there's a strong candidate to go against him, I don't think he'll win. I'm not I don't have any anxiety about him running because I think we kind of all knew that he wasn't going nowhere after he left office. He was still going to be in the mix. So, I think this was kind of inevitability that he was going to declare for the race. So I don't think we need to be kind of antsy about it. This country was divided, hate-filled long before he ever took office. And all he did was just play on it and placate to it. So, he is who he is. No need for us to panic, but somebody got to get their shit together and put a worthy candidate out there. I don't Biden to be fucking 100 by then. So, but yeah, well, long story short, it's not a surprise to see him running, and I'm not panicking just because he's running. I think he can be beat.
Jerry, you think he can win?
I think he can, but I guess another point, I don't want to call it a bigger point, just another point that I have been thinking about is what's taking so long for them to convict him on something? Like he's under he has multiple trials or investigations going, and you just know he's done something dirty. It just seems like they're taking a long time to actually dig something up that can stick to him that would actually get him out of the way so he couldn't have a chance of winning. But to answer your question, I think he does have a chance of winning. It's probably just him versus DeSantis from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably who it'll come down to. And yeah, I think he has a good chance of winning. He has a lot of loyal followers still left.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. What you think, Hugh?
Yeah, I definitely think he has a chance of winning. Like Jared was alluding to, when you think about somebody that's Mr. Untouchable, he fits the bill of that. You talking about charge after charge after charge, media attention, and nothing sticks to this guy. I mean, that guy has said whatever he wanted to say and still hasn't been kicked off any race. He uses a bully tactic that has the Republicans backing him and stuff like that. I definitely think he could win because I don't think there's another Democrat that's polarizing that can really challenge him. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, and for us as American, I don't think there's anything for us to panic about. We've been through it before with them. So, it is what it is,
Yeah, my thoughts is, and I got a piggyback question on that. So first of all, my thought is he definitely could still win. He definitely can still win, but I hope he does more to hurt his party by running against another. I hope he divides his own party. That's what I hope happens, because there's some really staunch Trump supporters still out there, man. I mean, just crazy. This dude, he was on the news yesterday or a couple days ago talking about he wants to terminate the Constitution so we can overturn the election. Man, just crazy stuff. But us as blacks, him getting back in office, does that hurt us? Does it help us? What's your thoughts on that?
Business as usual. We never had one president to really, set something aside for us. You know what I'm saying? We've been, backsliding and surviving and maintaining for all these many years, just begging and stuff like that. So, it's just another day at the office for us. We really don't have an agenda in Black America.
Okay, all right, cool.
I think it could hurt us because they continue to try to put a little sneak shit in take away certain things that directly affect us. You know, just with the voting stuff.
Yeah.
You know, just something as simple as that. So I could see him pushing a lot of other shit, or trying to push a lot of other stuff that slowly but surely could take away stuff that you wouldn't think that could be taken away from us. But you know, so it could be.
Mm-hmm. Voting, yeah. I like what you said, Rodney, about voting rights and things like that. I think when he was in office, it seemed like a lot of our issues took a back seat to what was going on. So it's just not a good look for him to become president again. So I hate that he's running, but I do hope he divides that party so somebody from the other side can just walk into the presidency. Also, speaking of running and speaking of bids, Kanye West announced that he's running in 2024. What's your thoughts? Squeak, what do you think about that, man?
I think my man trying to recoup that damn money that he lost from all them damn endorsement deals. I without a shadow of doubt, I know that guy don't think he can win. You know what I'm saying? He's been having bad press runs with a lot of his endorsements deals. So there's no way America would rally behind him like they have Trump with his viewpoints and some of the outspoken things that he said. So I don't see him being a legitimate candidate. You know what I'm saying? More power to him if he want to spend his hard-earned money trying to be the president, but he won't have my vote.
Is his candidacy serious enough to take votes from somebody that is serious though?
I doubt it. Not in my opinion. You know, with what he's receiving in the media right now. Not in my opinion. You know.
Jared, what you think?
I don't take him seriously, but I did see he was selling a lot of merch with that. You know, his new, I don't know if you call it a brand. I guess you could call it a brand. It's that Ye 24.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I read a story today about him selling a lot of merch. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like you said, a money-making opportunity, get some attention, but he could end up taking some votes away from the Republican Party. So it could be a problem for them.
He could be. And I read a story about how he asked Donald Trump, I guess he was joking with him, but he asked Donald Trump to be his running mate.
Yes.
Be a dude. Wow. He wilder. What you think, Rod?
Not even worth talking about for me. I'm waiting for him just to totally self-destruct and, you know, get out of the news because I'm just tired of hearing about him.
Yeah, he's getting old. It's just wearing on you. I think his whole act to me is just starting to just wear on everybody.
So I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
So if Adidas called him today or tomorrow and be like, "Hey, we was tripping, you know, whatever you want, we'll concede. You know, we'll give you anything you need, anything you ever wanted." Would all this go away? Would all this erratic behavior and everything, will all that go away?
I don't think it would.
I think it would.
I thought he got what he wanted from Adidas, other than controlling them.
I'm just saying, whatever he wanted, they gave it to him, and now that partnership is back. All his whatever he lost is back. Does all this erratic behavior go away?
I don't think so, man. I think he's just like a whore for the spotlight, man. He just loves that attention. I think he just fuels them. I mean, he just gotta be on everybody's mind. He just has to be the center of attention, man. I'm sort of getting tired of that excuse of the mental health stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I really am, man. Everybody's using that excuse, but I think everybody now is starting to turn their back on him. Like, this dude is really out there. You know, people are starting to move more away from him because I really think now people are like, it ain't the mental illness. This guy's just, you know, not a good person. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day.
Hey,
let me ask you a question. Do you think we feel that way because he's a black man? Like, do we feel that way about Trump? Like how we feel about Kanye and Kyrie? Or is it just that, us being black, we like, come on, bro, you shine a better light on us?
Like, I don't put Kyrie and Kanye in the same boat at all. Like, in my opinion, Kanye is like he's all about self to me. Kanye is all about self, shining his own spotlight on himself, similar to what Trump is. So I agree in that, but I don't think Kyrie. I think Kyrie is misinformed more than anything. So that's my 2 cents on that. You had a question, Jay?
Yeah. Do you guys see him making a comeback, and how do you see him pulling that off, or do you think he's done? When I say comeback, I mean getting back to close to his level of popularity before all this stuff blew up.
Music-wise, you talking about?
Everything, music, fashion, just his whole status. Do you ever see him making a full comeback?
I think he's done. I think he's done. I don't think he will never get back to the music genius he was. I don't think he will get the endorsement deals that he had. He pretty much shot himself in the foot with all this nonsense. So I don't see it.
Okay.
I said he was done when he made Yeezus, but hot music and art seems like it has a way to the softer side of people. So as long as he's a creator, I don't ever see that leaving him. That's probably one of his gifts that he has, being an underdog in hip hop. I think that, if he has that audience and stuff like that, and he comes with those bangers, I think he'd be right back on top.
I don't think so. I don't think he will. I think, people starting to distance themselves from him. And I don't, and we as black folks, we should have distanced ourselves a long time from this clown. So I don't see him ever. I don't see him making that return to wherever, whenever you think he was at his highest. I don't think he'll get to that ever again.
You think he can win back the like his black audience? Do you think he's lost his black audience? I guess that's the first question. You think he's lost his black audience, and do you think he'll ever get them back if he has lost them?
What?
I think so. I think he's started to lose them. I think before he's with all the shenanigans and everything prior to this year, people were still fucking with him. But I think with this last round of stuff that he's been up to, I think you can slowly see people just being like, I'm not fucking with this guy. He's just doing too much. And like I said, he I said earlier on other podcasts, this cat just too inconsistent. Like with your black and pro-blackness and everything now, but a lot of that shit's canceled out with all the other nonsense you doing, wearing the MAGA hats and White Lives Matter shirts and all the other shit. So I can't, we can't get behind it because he just do this shit when it suits him. He go on these little rants and shit when it suits him, but he's not consistent with his message. So yeah, I don't think he gonna get that audience back.
Yeah. What do you think, Squeak?
I don't think he need us. Like that dude been operating and on a level that we haven't really pushed him to. We gave him his initial push, but once he got past us and got into that pop superstar realm, he ain't try to include us and stuff like that. It's just things that he do that we don't go for, but the masses they go for. Like going to the Georgia Dome for a listening session. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nobody who went to that, but that was like a big buzz. Where he was living there.
But that audience that you're talking about, it wasn't whether he needed us, but that wasn't the question whether he needed the black audience. He was like, would he get the black audience back? But to your point, ain't what he doing now alienating that bigger audience that he had?
Yes and no. sometimes people like that controversy, sort of like with the Trump. And instead of them running away from you, they flock to you to ask you more question after questions. And that's what it seems like he's feeling. Those people that like to be curious and like to know what's going on in your head and why you coming up. We don't operate like that. When you start talking crazy like that and drawing too much attention, we like deuces. Other people seem to be, like, tell me what makes you tick. And we don't, we don't operate like that, really. You shine too much of a light around us, and it's like, hey, what you doing? That's too bright. Hold that down. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes him unique, and that's what makes him awkward all in one. You talking about the guy that was supposed to be reading off a telethon about Hurricane Katrina. He went straight left with it. Like, hey, George Bush don't like black people. And that was the first inkling of whatever for him to unravel. You know what I'm saying? Him getting drunk at the MTV Awards, walking up, grabbing the microphone for Taylor Swift. Beyonce deserved this. Well, I'm going to let you finish. This is the dude that he ain't stopped since then. And I don't think he'll ever stop, And that's what they really love about the cat.
Who is they?
I would say the masses in the media, you know what I'm saying? Because for us, that's embarrassing sometimes. But they've never unplugged his microphone. He still has an outlet. He still has that power to perform and entertain and stuff like that. And we looking at him like he's a damn disgrace and embarrassment. But for some people, they looking at it like, yeah, that's how y'all really act, So you got a divide in here, you know what I'm saying, with the brother that we all seem to love and like in the beginning of his career. Not to say that I don't love and like the brother. I still listen to his music. Go ahead, Jared.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't want to seem like I was trying to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
We were trying to mess with my mic. I think if we forgave or put under the rug or what R. Kelly did, Bill Cosby, people have been child molesters and they've continued on in entertainment. And I think it's just important, as I say that, just to keep in mind that it's just entertainment. He's not a politician or a real influencer when it comes to the black community. To me, that's just my opinion. And I think he's one hit away, one hit album away, one song away, one tour away, 2-week stint in rehab away from rebuilding his brand and everything being okay. Because people, this is in the news now, but in 30 days, 60 days, this will be old news. We'll, been and forgot about this. So I think he can come back. Maybe not to the level that he was at before, but he can make a comeback, in my opinion.
Good point. Yeah, I guess to your point, Jared, we have, forgiven many people. Right? It's one trait that we have as African Americans. We do forgive. I mean, but getting back to what he was, I just think that'd be super tough. I don't know if he'll ever get back to where he was, but there's always a possibility.
Yeah, he's hurting his business.
Yes,
connections.
Mm-hmm.
You need Live Nation. You need touring companies. You need to work with stadiums and brands, and you can't do that, with his behavior and what he's saying and doing.
But that's the point, though. He can't come back if like, to me, whether he have a hit song or get the black audience back, that don't mean shit. Like you was like Squeak was talking about earlier. That doesn't mean anything. It's his business side. The connections that he had in business is that what made him who he was or got him to that popularity. And I don't give a fuck I don't see nobody coming back from. How many motherfuckers come back from Jew talk? Dissing Jews. How many people can bounce back from that? You can be a child molester and bounce back. You can do other things and bounce back. But when you go down that path, don't too many people bounce back from that.
Can you name one person who hasn't bounced back who went down this path?
Mel Gibson.
He's bounced back. His movie is on Amazon Prime right now. He's still making movies. He's still making movies,
but he wasn't. He's not Mel Gibson. He's not at that status that he was.
But Bruce Willis is not Bruce Willis. Him and Bruce Willis make the same type of movies right now. They made
But-
10, 20 different movies.
But
since
but
then.
I'm not. I don't. I mean, what Mel Gibson's in his 70s, so it's gonna be hard for them to motherfucking make any movies anyway. But prior to this, like Mel Gibson lost a lot.
He lost a lot.
He lost a lot, and he never bounced back to where he was. So if he got a movie on Prime, okay. But I don't think he bounced back. I don't think you could point to him bouncing back.
I mean, the only person that I can think of in their prime that came close to tugging that line with the Jew Talk was Ice Cube with his Death Certificate album. You know what I'm saying? When he was, I guess, pushing the line on the black Muslim type of talk. They pretty much tagged his album with the anti-Semitic type of flow. And he really wasn't going in on them, from a racist standpoint, basically telling them how it is. But he chose to do something different. I don't know if they blackballed him. He chose to do something different with his style of rap. You know what I'm saying? So he never saw that same success until he flipped to the movies.
Was it more so was it more so his affiliation, or they thought his affiliation with the Islam? I mean, with Nation of Islam? So was it indirectly what they thought to be his affiliation with them? And of course, everyone figures that Farrakhan is an anti-Semite. So was it that affiliation, or was it actual what he said? Because I'm thinking about it. He talked more about Koreans and Asians on the album, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was it was both really. And he was the one that got at Jerry Heller. You can't be the nigga for life crew with a white Jew telling you what to do. Mm-hmm. You follow what I'm saying? He was hitting him like that. So it was both, actually, which to your point, it was both, who he was affiliated with and what he was saying, because he was going at everybody in that point, and I don't know if he had to distance himself from the black Muslims, you know what I'm saying, to break that, because after that, you never really saw him, kind of move or talk like that anymore.
I thought it was a lot of it was based on Jerry Heller. That's what I thought. A lot of that.
It could have been. Yeah,
based on going at Jerry Heller. But one thing about Ice Cube, he kept it in the music.
Yeah,
he wasn't outside, posting it on, well, I guess they didn't have Twitter or anything.
Yes, before the internet.
But he kept it in the music, though. He kept it in the music, and I think that's what makes it a lot different.
Yeah,
totally a lot different. All right, boys. Still staying on election. I just really want to touch one thing. So, Georgia has a super huge runoff election. A runoff that's happening on Tuesday. Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker. I just want to throw this out to the group. Have you guys ever have you ever been able to listen to Herschel Walker?
Yes.
I just in my mind, I'm like, how this dude got this far? Like, how the hell how can he be a senator?
Because somebody is trying to separate the black votes.
I mean, I'm just dumbfounded, man. They're strategically trying to stop him from talking up during this runoff, so because he was losing. It's inevitably that he'll just lose because he'll just shoot himself in the foot. He's just a bad candidate all through and through. Anybody got thoughts on Herschel Walker in his runoff race?
Oh man. It's sad, man. It's sad that somebody of his ilk could actually run. I mean, get to this point. I mean, I just read something where Trump backed him and got him in this position, but now he's fleeing the scene from him, I guess, because he see that this cat, ain't gonna win. But it's really sad. It's a really sad to hear him talk, and he clearly has no idea what he's talking about on anything. He has no clue, but they propping him up. They're propping him up to get to fit their agenda. So
Why you say it's sad though, Rodney?
it's sad because he's stupid. I mean, I don't mean to
Yeah.
be so harsh, but the nigga, he's stupid as fuck, and he got a chance to represent a state in the United States in DC. So that's a sad state of affairs if someone of his IQ can be in this position, but that's where we at.
Yeah, man, I totally think puppet. When I see this dude talking, I was just like, puppet. He's not saying anything. He's doing a lot of talking and ain't saying nothing. And I just think this dude can be a senator, man. He could be a senator, one of two senators in the state. He could be one.
He's not even articulate. I mean, it's one thing if I'm articulate and I'm just talking, I'm just blowing smoke up your ass, but at least I'm this motherfucker.
Yeah, but I just wanted to close on that, and I'm telling everybody in Georgia, go vote, man. Do not let this dude can't let this dude win the Senate race.
That's a fact.
Can't let this dude win the Senate race. All right, boys. Up next, let's talk a little bit about Coach Prime. Coach Prime this week announced that he'll be leaving Jackson State HBCU to coach at Colorado. I want to pose this question to the boys. What's your thoughts? Did he do enough? Did he do enough at that HBC to move on? Is it selfish? What about the kids? Squeak, we'll start with you. What you think, man?
First of all, let me say congratulations, Prime Time. I had mixed emotions when I first read that on ESPN when the news broke. I'm like, damn, man, I thought you was gonna do this. In my mind, I was thinking this would be like a 5-year stint. He was gonna help the HBCUs and everything like that. But then I had to realize something. When you have a person like him, coming to your institution, and he's bringing this much attention to your institution and to the other HBCU teams that he's playing around and for their conference, you have to do whatever you need to do to keep him, to make him happy. If he say we need better facilities, that's what it is. If he say these players need better equipment, that's what it is. If you play hardball with Prime Time, just know the big other schools, the big top 10 schools and the Big 12 schools, they're looking to go after him. He's a Hall of Fame football player. He already has a knack to talk with the young kids. We know that because the kids that's in high school that were coming out, they were all leaving to go to his school or to other HBCU. So that was already in the air. You know what I'm saying? Now this year they had those games on ESPN. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that the HBCU commission did a horrible job by not just, doing what he needed to get done to keep that man. I think Prime needed like a 5-7 year type of contract to keep him in that school so you can keep those recruits coming through. It's the first time, like before we started on, it's the first time that I ever got to look at the HBCU games other than just trying to look at the halftime performance. You know what I'm saying? It's the first time that I ever, just watched it and stuff like that, and just making me say that if I can go back in time, I would have went to a HBCU to play football and stuff like that, But overall, I think he's going to still do what he did at Jackson State, at Colorado. I just hope they're just not trying to remove him. We're giving him a lot of money and then fire him or something like that if it don't go right. You know what I'm saying? I hope it's not that kind of ploy to where they're just trying to, get those recruits coming back to those big top 10 schools and stuff like that. That was a wave that I'm gonna give Dion a lot of credit on that he kind of helped start it and stuff like that, So I think overall, I wanted to see him stay a little longer, but if you're not, meeting this man demands and stuff like that, he has to move on. That's only fair to him. You know what I'm saying? That's only fair to him.
Jay, thoughts on it?
Yeah, I've been watching his interviews today. Shout out to his son on YouTube, Well Off Media. I think I've been watching his shorts and videos, all year. But I watched his exit speech to the Jackson State University. The kids were sad. You can just see the disappointment. One guy was like, I came back because we lost last year. I could have moved on, but I came back to play another year to try to get over that hump and win the last game, the championship game. And he just asked his fellow teammates not to transfer, just to stick around. It's just a sad situation. Deion recruited all those kids, some of those kids. Let me not talk like I'm an expert on it. I just got barely halfway into this topic this year. But I do know a lot of kids. He recruited a lot of kids, convinced those kids not to go to other schools and come to that school. Now he's gone. What the hell was that?
Sorry.
That's okay. Let me shift on this. I watched his I don't know what you call it, his first speech up at Colorado University to those kids. And me and Teresa, me and my wife watched it, and it seemed like he could have a future problem with his coaching style at the big school that he's trying to use at the HBCU. I don't know if any of you have an opinion on it or saw his speech to Colorado University, but I see, I looked at the kids. It's not all black kids, like a lot of white kids at this school who looked really small to me. It looked like high school players to me for some reason. They look like small guys, small kids. But I can see a potential problem. If he doesn't come in and win right away, I can see them trying to get rid of him quick, also.
Really?
That's my take on it.
Okay. Right, what you think?
So you say not meet his demands, Squeak. How do you know they didn't meet his demands, or what was his demands? Because he's in a particular position to where just throwing money at Deion Sanders, is that going to move? Is that going to make him move somewhere? Because he wasn't, from what I get from what I was hearing, like he really wasn't, the money thing wasn't an issue. He wasn't worried about what they were paying him because he had other revenue streams. So he wasn't worried about whether they was able to pay him top dollar. Mm-hmm. This is just what coaching is about. Like, you get a job and you if a better job comes along, you take it. That's what coaching, that's the life of coaches. And you recruit, and you might recruit people, tell them to come here, and you very well might not be there when they become seniors. That's just how it goes. And in his brief little 3-year stay at Jackson State, he's done more in those 3 years than anyone ever could have imagined. So, and he has updated the facilities at some of these other HBCUs. They have been upgraded, and so changes are being made based on him, being there for those little 3 years. Now the challenge is going to be who's going to take that mantle and continue to shine that light on HBCUs. I don't really think there's a personality or anyone that can match what he brings as far as personality, charisma, accomplishments. So it's gonna be pretty hard to replace it. But I don't knock the man for moving on and getting another job, because he's always from the interviews I saw, he's always stated that if someone comes along, he has to entertain it. So I never heard him say, I'm going to be here for the duration. I'm going to be like Eddie Robinson and spend a lifetime here. He never said that.
Hey, Rodney, specifically today, he said he's trying to make it to the league. He named the stat, something like 7 black head coaches didn't get replaced or something like that. Some stat he gave. Basically, he's trying to make it. He's trying to go up the ladder and be a black, NFL coach.
Well, that's not what he stated on 60 Minutes.
No, this is from today. His video from today.
I watched the video. He was talking about the players, getting players to the NFL. From what I gathered, it wasn't him.
No. He said 7 black coaches, and he named the percentage of the league being like in the 70s percentage and not having representation on the coaching staff.
Right. He's talking about getting coaches, you know, getting black coaches in these positions.
Why would he be talking to the kids about getting black coaches? He's talking about himself.
I'm just saying, the interview he gave on 60 Minutes a month ago, he said if there was an opportunity to move on, he would, and that he has no he doesn't want to coach the NFL because what he's doing doesn't work with grown men. That's not, the things that he can't teach them to be men, teach grown men to be men. So this is where his level, at this collegiate level, what he's trying to do works best. So I mean, we, I just going off of what I heard, and like I said, I watched it today, and I didn't quite catch that, but I'll watch it again though.
All right.
It was, I think it was a sad day for the HBCU. I really do. You can't knock Deion because that's the end game, right? So he always said he wanted to coach. He wanted to be a coach in a big time program, and he eventually wants to coach the highest level. If he could have started at a big time school, of course he would have started at a big time school. So I knew it was inevitable. But what I didn't know is the mark he would leave. 3 years. I mean, he had Jackson State popping. Everybody coming down to see him, everybody going to the games getting televised on ESPN. I mean, you would never saw that for HBCU. I wish they could have parlayed that into making him like commissioner of the SWAC or something like that.
That's a fact.
That would be such a great. He can recruit the right coaches for the right schools, and he can leave the whole HBCU program just better because he has it all. He has the personality. He can speak to the young people. He a little hip hop. So he just touches every piece that you need when you're recruiting somebody. And I think he could recruit men to be coaches to the programs at the HBCU. So I know it's a big loss. It is congratulations to Deion, but it's just a super huge loss for the HBCU because I don't think them 3 years went by fast. And if he would have did it for 10, I think we would have a conference that'll rival some of these bigger conferences. But you said something interesting, or somebody brought up something interesting. He ain't in it for the money. And Jared, you said now that he's going to have not only he's going to interact with more than black for the most part. I pose this question to the group. Do you think he can be successful in a mixed program, a mixed population? How successful do you think he can be at Colorado?
I don't think it should be no problem. I mean, he played with white teammates and stuff like that from college to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? They're just young men as well. They're just from a different race, different background and stuff like that. Yeah, it's but on the football field, we all won. You know what I'm saying? And we have the same goal as a college student. Your grades come first. You know what I'm saying? And work on yourself. So the agenda shouldn't change. Everybody has a different culture and stuff like that. But yeah, Deion is a man of many men. You know what I'm saying? He has an influence and a reach, and that's evident by Colorado reaching out to him. You know what I'm saying? Seeing what he's doing at a historical black institution and offering him that job like they did. So I don't think that should be a problem for him at all.
I guess the question I meant was does his style play? Does that work? Would that style work? I guess that's what I'm asking. I
think a lot of white kids gonna transfer
out
yeah.
Transfer program.
Yeah. Well, their quarterback, he's already going to the transfer portal
because he can.
I think it's Josh McCown's son.
Okay.
He's entering the transfer portal already. So I think there's going to be some of those white players are going to be intimidated because they're going to start bringing in some athletes from the South, from Florida, from Texas. They're going to get an influx of them, and I think a lot of those white kids are going to transfer.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's bringing his son with him to be quarterback. So it's probably the McNown kid is out of there.
I like his son too.
Is it bad that they transfer? Do they improve the team when he brings these, new players in?
They should. I mean, he's going to bring in, like Rodney said, he's going to bring in a bunch of athletes, and they know how to play. I'm hoping he don't decimate the JSU program. He take everybody that he recruited to Colorado with him. Now you kill that football team. I don't know how plausible that is. I don't know if that's I don't know what's really going to happen, but I can see a scenario where all the JSU good kids transfer to Colorado, like they're really good kids transfer to play because it's a bigger platform. They want to make it to the NFL, and that's the whole idea behind it. Make it to the league.
Yeah, it's a bigger platform, but it's a big culture difference too. Culture shock. You coming from Mississippi to Colorado. You know what I'm saying? You coming from Alabama to Colorado. He's left before. So that's the one thing that's the college students and the new recruits, they're going to always be looking at him about that. You know what I'm saying? What he did leaving from Jackson State to this situation. You know what I'm saying? So not to say that's a black eye, but that happens all the time, like Rodney mentioned. You know what I'm saying? That happens all the time. Coaches go from Oklahoma State University to Ohio State. That's just a coaching shift that goes like that. Deion, like I said, Deion is a man of many men. He should be able to reach those kids and talk to those kids, but those kids can't BS him. You're talking about a former football player, former high school, college player, NFL player. When you give and draw. He know when you know your assignment. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to BS that guy like that.
Mm-hmm. Can anybody replace him? Anybody can replace him down on that SBC? I mean, on that HBCU level.
I think what he did, and I wasn't around to watch what Eddie Robinson did, but what he did, and I liked, is that he brought in rap artists that those kids could relate to. I saw Young Dolph in the locker room. I think I saw Moneybagg Yo. Those kids, they looked up to him like that. It's like he had them their every word. He got the best effort out of those guys, even like his son. You know what I'm saying? I always gave him the biggest, and it wasn't as if, if he wasn't the coach, his son wouldn't have got that starting job. I thought his son was a good, quarterback, a good football player, both of them actually. The defensive back guy and the quarterback. But I think it's going to take an effort. I don't think it's one person. I think it's going to take an effort of our black celebrities and like-minded former NFL players coming together to see the big hole, the big gap that Deion left. And if you really love HBCUs, let's band together. Let's do this, because at the end of the day, you mentioned something about that commissioner. Had they made him that position, he would have been the guy that could have really put things in motion. You know what I'm saying? So you have guys like Ray Lewis, you have guys like Luke Campbell who've been doing it on a lower level, but not a big level. That commission job for HBCUs has to be looked at now, because that's the thing that's gonna probably fix this thing. And they know those HBCUs need that money to help these other facilities. They're gonna still steady need those recruits to come through if you want to compete with the next level.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask a question. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about intent. We didn't talk about intent. We're talking about him, helping the HBCUs and the small, the black schools. What's each one of you guys? What's his reason for leaving? Why is he going to Colorado if not to go to the next level? Is he just fascinated with helping college kids?
No, I think it's solely it's him. It's his goal. I think his intent is to become a head coach in the NFL. And I think he's just taking the steps. And like Rodney said, he told everybody, if somebody come knocking, he gonna always listen. And I just think it's just the next step. I think the next step would be like a really big program, like Alabama or like a Oklahoma. It'll be a super big, it'll be a big school unless he goes right to the NFL. he's successful, if he like takes Colorado, gets them nationally ranked, and get them, going to these big bowls, playing in the college championship, he's a leader of men. That's one good thing about him. He knows how to lead. I think they just gonna scoop him up. I think Colorado did a great job, man. I think they did a great job getting him. I really do.
It brings instant attention to that program. I don't know how much attention they needed, what the financials look like on their end, but it does bring a lot of attention instantly.
It does, and he's gonna get them playing good, man. He's a good coach. He's, like you say, good leader, and he's a hell of a recruiter. He's gonna get some athletes up there that's gonna play ball. So
yeah,
I wonder, will he make Colorado play some HBCU teams? Just for the look. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good idea. It's a good idea, but it won't be a contest.
Right. Different program.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll do that.
Play.
Huh?
I would have loved to see his team play up. His current JSU team.
Yeah, me too.
Them play a big.
He was asked about that one time this year, and he said there's no way he would do it because they're not ready.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have and what he talked about specifically was the offensive and defensive lines. Mm-hmm. They don't have the people to compete with Alabama or any of those big schools. They got athletes, but
mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was specifically talking about Alabama because they asked him about him and Nick Saban, but I think he was specifically talking about he couldn't compete with Alabama. He said give him a year because of that. But I think he could have competed with like a San Diego State or like mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like a New Mexico. He could have went up and probably gave them boys a headache. So
yeah, Jay, I don't know why he's leaving. To answer your question, I have to agree with the group. Just the opportunity knock.
But so did he coming into this? Did he say he was going to be the savior for HBCUs and he was going to be there for long term? He never came into that. So
no.
So him leaving is just he's a coach. This is what coaches do. They get the better job and they move on.
Because I didn't realize Eddie Georgia was a head coach at an HBCU
mm-hmm.
until they played.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I didn't hear any. I hadn't heard any kind of rumblings. I was always wondering what he was up to. You know what I'm saying? Until they played against each other and shook hands at the end of the game. I was like, oh,
because he's not Deion Sanders.
There you go.
This guy's such a huge personality, man. It just worked. It just worked. It just worked. It worked good. So,
but one thing about it though, him going to Colorado, he's going to have to win. He's going to, it's not going to be just all flash and rappers and all that shit. He's going to have to win.
No doubt.
And the playing fields he's on a more level playing field now. Because he could get anything he wanted at Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. I don't even know what their conference is. Who do they play up? Who they play against?
Yeah, so he's on a more level playing field now. So the pressure's going to be on after a couple of years. If because the team went 1-11 this past season, so. They're going to get a lot of guys in through the transfer portal. So, he's going to have immediate results next year. Not Pac-12 championship, but, he's going to have to they're going to have to make some strides next year. Mm-hmm. Because all that flash and shit, that's going to wear off if you continue to be 1-11, 2-8 and shit like that. So.
Yeah. Did y'all realize it was 3 years that he was there? It seemed like that was that long. It didn't seem like
one of the years was that COVID year.
Okay.
So because they didn't play the normal they didn't start in October and finish in November. I mean August to November. They actually played that spring. They played their first season that spring because of COVID.
Okay, man. So basically about 2 years, 3 seasons in.
No, it was 3 seasons, but with COVID, you probably in it with COVID and the fact that it was played in the spring, you didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because
Okay.
it really wasn't football season, but that's when they played that season. But when COVID was gone, well, whatever, it's still around. But when they got back on a normal schedule, okay, we've seen them for 2 years.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. All right. Good, guys. Let's wrap that up and let's move on to our next topic. this next topic, versus. We're gonna talk a little bit about versus. Can versus still be good? Meaning, can versus still be good? Meaning, is there any good competition out there? Is anybody we compare that to make a good versus? Anybody I think of can make a good versus?
Yeah, versus can always be good. It works because it's for the fans.
If the matchup is right, yeah, I think it can still be good.
But y'all don't think it's wore out. Yeah, I think there's still some matches people want to see.
I mean, when we looked at that Dipset versus Locks, and that was live in Madison Square Garden, that was a good matchup. Bone versus 3-6, even the fighting. You know what I'm saying? The throwing the water, all that was a good matchup. You just get I think the Jay and Nas will never be on versus, so we can remove that from our head. But there are still groups that you can get out there. There are still acts that you can get out there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think Snoop can come back to versus and do a live battle with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes hasn't been on versus yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, speaking of him, I mean, I don't want to. We can get back to versus still good, but people always talk about Busta Rhymes and how nobody wants to go up against him. Why is that?
I don't think he had. I think Busta Rhymes as an MC is very good, but I don't think he has the hits to beat a lot of people in versus.
That's why I'm asking this question, because I hear that a lot. Like people that say, "Oh, nobody wants it with Busta." Why? Why not?
Yeah, I literally think T.I. can beat him in versus.
I think T.I. is one of the most disrespected. T.I. hits, man. That dude.
He do. And Busta just can throw a good verse out there. You know what I'm saying? A good feature.
Mm-hmm.
But that ain't gonna beat no entire damn song. You know what I'm saying? That somebody dropping. In my opinion, that's my opinion.
I think versus can do itself a favor and do rematches.
Yeah,
like, they did some rematches, like especially some of the earlier verses where they didn't put on a big show for them. Man, they can do some rematches and they can come back and I think pick it, get it going good again.
I thought the matchup between Nelly and Ludacris was the wrong matchup. I thought Nelly should have always went against Ja Rule. Me personally. I thought that would have been a good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I changed my opinion on it. I was gonna say it could keep going, but when you think, my whole theme of this episode has been money talks with Kanye. If somebody can feel like they can make money with Kanye, he'll be accepted. Same thing with Mel Gibson. Some movie investors figure they can make some money, not as much as they used to be able to make, but they can make some money with him, so they make the movies. So money talks. So basically, artists don't need verses anymore. So in order for verses, in my opinion, to work, you have to pay them what they would get to do a show, because verses got popular when artists could not go out and do shows like they could, were doing during the pandemic. Now everybody's back on tour, making their $50,000, $100,000 per night doing solo shows. So you have to be able to market it as a concert and sell out a big venue, depending on the artist. If it's a bigger artist, you have to be able to make, like a festival type of, in my opinion, not knowing the business, you have to book them in a big venue so both artists can get their normal fee, because I don't see anybody just doing it for cheap right now when they can just go on tour.
So with that said, do you think they can do it like the legends of Virtus, like the old heads, the OGs?
Like the
That,
smaller acts, smaller money. I think
yeah,
so. Yeah.
like a Cool Mo D versus, I ain't gonna say LL, but you know what I'm saying? A Rakim versus Big Daddy Kane.
I would still
something
watch.
we all wanted to see.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
I think that's a good idea. Smaller, older acts that have gotten out of the limelight as much.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did that UGK 8-Ball MJG. Man, I'll go see that live. I'll go see that live today.
Right.
That was the best versus. Crowd was terrible, but I thought that was the best versus they've had. I thought it was awesome.
If they go smaller like that, do the masses say that they fell off? Like, we'll love it, but do the masses say, yeah, it's over? Look at these old rappers they have on now.
I think it'll be an introduction to the new audience, though. You know what I'm saying? Like that think they heard those, but they didn't know who. You finally put a face with a name of who performing these songs and stuff like that. Me personally, I didn't think KRS-One could beat Big Daddy Kane in the verses. I didn't think he could, but clearly he did.
Yeah. All right. Any last thoughts on verses, guys?
Yeah.
All right. So move on. So the next topic, my wife and I, we were in the car. 21. So we were listening to Drake 21 Savage, their new CD. And 21 Savage has a line in one of the songs that says, "What's her body count? What's her body count? I hope it's not a lot." And my wife was like, "Huh? Do you guys think about that? Do you think about body counts? Do you think about how many men a woman has slept with when you make a decision to date a woman or wife a woman or whatever?" So I wanted to throw that out to the group. Body counts. What's too many? What's too many? Rod, I start with you.
I think it's just a topic that you better off just leaving alone, because no matter what she says, you're not going to be cool with it, because if she throw out 75, you're going to be like, damn, like, who the fuck raised you? Like, what are you? And if she say 2, now you like, bitch, you lying. You hiding something now, because I know you've been with more people than 2. So whatever the answer is, it ain't gonna be what you want to hear. So just don't even go there. We all got a past, and if she's a hoe, prior to you, then at some point it's gonna come out when you with her. So just leave it alone.
Jay, what about you?
Yeah, I say. There is a number that I don't know what the number is, but there is a number that's too much, too many. Yeah, I guess I have to lean with what Rodney is saying. I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion on it. You're not gonna get involved with nobody. You could tell if somebody who's been around, a lot, and you probably gonna not get serious about that person.
Okay.
I don't really worry about this one too much.
All right, Squeak.
In my teens and my 20s, man, this was a question that I used to always ask. I used to love to ask, like it really mattered. And sometimes in my head when I was young like that, in my teens and my 20s, it mattered. It's like you pass in judgment. You want to hear this magical number that you really don't need to hear. You're gonna fuck around and let the love of your life walk away because she had a life before you. You know what I'm saying? And when you tell her your lie of how many bodies that you've been with, because you're not counting all your one night stands and the little hookups and shit, you throwing out, you don't pass no judgment. As I, became an adult and as a man, I shy away from that type. I don't need to know that. I just need to know what your health is like. You know what I'm saying? You bring something to be healthy. That's all that matters, because at the end of the day, I can't go back and undo those guys you've been with. It don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? You dating a woman that's been divorced, but you expect her to be with two people. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, come on out of here. That's a young man's conversation. You know what I'm saying? You hit your 40s, man. That don't matter. You know what I'm saying? That's like a woman trying to pass judgment on you that you've been with 5 or more women. Like, what you think, baby? You looking at me? You know what I'm saying? Shit, it's supposed to be more than that. You know, we pride ourselves, you know, being with 5, 10, 15 women in our life, 20, 35. We pride ourselves with that, but we holding a woman down to, you know, you want her to be with one guy for what? What if, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter, you know. So my view of that, when I was younger, it did matter. As I became a man, it shit don't matter at all. I don't even want to know it. I do not want to know what your body count is.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna throw a number out there, and I want you to say if it's too many or not too, or you okay or no or not okay.
This is somebody we dating, or we talk about our current lady.
It's just somebody you was potentially wanting to date.
Okay.
The number is 25.
And how old is this person?
35.
That's too many.
All right.
She 35.
35.
So, I mean, what if she started when she was 15?
Whatever the reason.
That's 20 years. That's 20 years. You know, that's a little over one a year. So is that bad? You know, you bang 1.5 dudes a year for 20 years. I mean, I don't know.
So 20? Yes or no? Too many? Not too many.
I mean, it sound like a lot, but man, shit, she been fucking since she's 15. I mean, she gonna have a few of them. You know, in some years, you know what? 25. Nah, I'm gonna say that ain't too many.
Wait.
Nah, that's her business. That's her life. You know what I'm saying? She didn't know she was gonna meet me. You know what I'm saying? She went through all 20 of them cats just to meet the Don Dot at number 26. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, so it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna knock her when my number probably is probably the same or more or way higher. You know what I'm saying? When she asked me that same question, I'm lying. I only been with 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm a virgin. You know what I'm saying? I'm keep going like that.
Hey, let's piggyback on that. If your current significant other asks you that, would you give her the number or will you lie?
I'm lying. I'm lying. I can't remember. I'm 47. I can't remember all them damn people, girl. I don't remember them shits. Shit. You the only one I think of. I'm gonna keep on flipping that conversation. You the only one I've been with. That's all that matters. You the love of my life. I'm not answering that shit.
Jay, you giving a real number or are you lying?
You shave off a couple. You shave off a couple weird ones that, you know, once you get that number, eventually they come back and want details. So you have to clean that up a little bit.
Hey, the ones that stink don't count.
Yeah, you got to shave them off.
The ones that stink don't count. So, you know, yeah.
What about you, Rod? The real number?
Yeah, you don't ever tell the truth, man.
Yeah. I'm with y'all. Nope. I ain't go. I'm gonna take that number to my grave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that number to my grave.
And that's really why you don't have. That's really why you don't have that body count conversation. Because once you go with that number, now you having the pistol contest. Who's the biggest you ever had? Mm-hmm. You don't want to know that answer.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them stories.
I think Squeaky made a good point when he said that's really a young person's thing
mindset.
to talk like that. As you get older, it's like, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm happy with you. I'm in love with you.
There you go.
But I'm digging into your past 15 years ago.
I bet you don't feel that same way if it's 25 and they have like 5 kids.
Hey, when you're in love, Jared, you know, it's like too late for you trying to do no investigation. You should have been doing that on the first week, you know. Love living with her.
All right. Good discussion. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. You know what time it is.
Yeah.
Slurp of the week. I'll kick this slurp of the week off. This one, I'll kick it off. My slurp of the week, we talked about him a little bit earlier. And this one was kind of hard for me because I had to think through it. But I think I'm gonna say Deion Sanders is my slurp of the week. And not for what you think, it's for more what he's doing to those kids. You know, I just think it's a real tough business that he got himself in. He brought a lot of these kids in to play football for him. They want to play football for Deion Sanders. And now he put them in a situation where they're in Mississippi. He's leaving them. It's kind of like abandoning them. And now they're kind of got to figure it out. And, you know, he recruited hard about, you know, he went out to people like a lot of kids that didn't have a father figure and that kind of thing. And they really looked up to him. So I think he's leaving a lot of those guys hanging. I know it's probably an unpopular opinion of mine, though, but I think he's leaving a lot of those guys hanging out to dry now, but moving on to Colorado and making that money. And these guys are sitting in Mississippi. So that's my slurp of the week. Jared, you got one?
Yep. Let me piggyback. We said piggyback about 5 times this episode. Let me add on to what you just said, Rodney. I owe you an apology. I rewatched his exit speech at Jackson State University. He said 4 out of 5 black college coaches got fired and didn't get replaced. Or he didn't even say college. He said next level. And then his next sentence was about college. So I'm just going to assume that he was talking about college. But I still think his ultimate goal is to make it to the league. I want to clean that up. You know, Google fixes everything. So we ain't got to be arguing about shit. We just take a second, Google it, you know, and clear it up. So I just want to clear that up. Slurp of the week, UFC fighter, Kevin Holland. He fought yesterday. So this weekend he fought. He was winning the fight. 4th round, he got TKO. I think it was the 4th or 5th round. He got TKO. 4th round. He got finished. He came out playing, talking. He was just clowning the whole fight, just embarrassed himself. It's a like a thing he does. He reminds me of Donald Cerrone. He makes it to the big show, but never gets over that hump. So Kevin Holland, you should have focused and bit down and tried to win that fight without playing around. And you got clipped and got beat. So Kevin Holland is my slurp of the week.
Cool. Wait, you got one?
Yeah, I got the state of Missouri. Last week, a young man was executed, you know, and they denied his 19-year-old daughter access to view her father's, you know, I guess farewell as he was executed. You know, I thought that was totally wrong to do, you know what I'm saying, considering that man's been incarcerated her entire life, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, they just my slurp of the week, you know.
I had a slurp of the week before we got on, and now I cannot remember who it was. Oh man,
is it people who like cruises?
No, it wasn't that. Shit. I'm okay. I'm gonna just I'm gonna say this one, and it's really not a slurp. It ain't hit their. It's not really their fault, but I'm gonna say Jerry Jones. He's my slurp of the week. For being present 65 years ago at his high school where they were a mob of white kids was denying 6 black students entry into high school. He wasn't in the front row. He was in the second or third row, and his excuse was he was just curious. That's why he was there. So he's my swerve of the week because I honestly I could, if you was honest and be like, yeah, I was there and we did some things that we would, I'm not proud of, but look at what I've done since then. My views have changed. I've done all this. I've done all that. So I would be I have more respect for him if he did that than to say he was just up there because he was curious. Because that I don't think that was true. So Jerry Jones is my swerve of the week.
All right, boys. That's a wrap. Another successful episode of Pod Deep, episode 22. Please like, subscribe, and follow us on all podcast platforms. Until next week, we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Yep.
Peace.
Later.